going to continue coloring the summer birds illustration. This is the second illustration in my collection. The first one was spring birds, and you can see it here. So this was spring, and now we're doing summer. And before we get off to coloring, I just wanted to give you some updates because I usually did this in the end, but I was ran out of time, so I decided to move them in the beginning. So for those of you that don't know, subscribing to YouTube and Twitch is free, and when I will get to 100 subscribers on YouTube, YouTube will let me have the better layout for my channel, and I'll be able to have links on the cover and a whole bunch of other things. Be easier for me to add information to my videos for you. I stream every Tuesday and Thursday between 3 and 5 p.m. That is Michigan, USA time, GMT -5, so it's 3 o'clock where I am now, and I will be streaming for 2 hours every Tuesday and Thursday. And if you join me on 2, I have a lot of giveaways there. And you can use the hashtag HisameOCL to find those giveaways, free art, and other merchandise, stuff like that. Tomorrow, the 8th Hisame OCL will end, so that is the last chance you'll get to get a character within the Erin's the Blue Bunny world. After that, the prizes will change, but the event will stay pretty much the same. Hi Banana, how are you? Hope you can hear me okay. And for other information, you can go read my blog. I post a lot of summaries for updates there. And I've also enabled Twitch and Patreon donations, so if you like my videos, you can go, and my work in general, you can help me, support me by going there and donating. And also I'll be posting more merchandise on Lulu and Kablam and so on, so you can keep an eye out for updates on my blog and Facebook and too as well to see what else is going on. Okay, and also, before I forget, if you're a musician and looking for graphics for your channel, let me know. I am currently using royalty-free music for my videos, but I'm always open to collaborations. And this is my schedule. You can have a quick look at it. It's on the Facebook and too as well. You can, if you ever wanna check it out again, and on Tapastic. So this is what I post throughout the week, and you can know which new artworks to expect. Perfect. Got out of the updates out of the way, and we can start painting. And I'm waiting for some more followers, viewers, Banana, because I want to show them something really interesting I found out in Clip Studio Paint Pro. So this is a really nifty thing. Come on. Oh, come on. I'm still learning this program. Okay. I will show you when they come. I'll redo the thing. Because you can use 3D dolls and you can edit them however you want. So just to make your life easier when painting in this program. Okay, so I'm on this layer now. Howdy, howdy. How have you been? Oh, what is that? Oh, yeah, I read. I'm sorry. I don't think I ever caught any of his shows because I'm a bit younger. Oh, and what I wanted to discuss today, so Megumi Noroa brought this to my attention. She is also a graphic artist, and this is her channel. And a few days ago, she went to a convention or a Comic Con or something like that to sell her artwork. And she definitely has the skill, as you can see here. She's very, very talented, but her sales were very bad. And she had the disappointing conclusion that um, were all the expenses she had with traveling and um, food and accommodations and printing materials and everything, she actually ended up losing money on this venture instead of making any, and not a lot of people came to her stand. So, this is something I want to discuss with you guys because also I've been tempted to do this and go to a Comic Con and try and sell my stuff because I do have a couple of thousands of followers. And when friends hear about this, they're impressed and like, wow, 1,000 people, that's like a little army you have. And not really. Like, there are so many people in this world that a couple of thousand followers is not really that much. Because you have to consider how many of those people. No, I don't know, because she's Italian, so it was a kind of a Comic Con in her part of the world, in one of the Italian cities where she is. And also, Comic Cons are not that big in Europe as they are here in America. So yeah, and you really gotta have millions and millions of subscribers and followers to be able to, make a living out of this. And this takes a lot of time to gather all these people. I mean, if you look at Sakimi-chan and what she does and how much she makes, I mean, for example, so this is my Patreon page, but I'm going to look for Sakimi-chan for you. Sakimi-chan. Now, I'm not a fan of her work, but what she does is certainly an example of success. So she just does fan art, a lot of fan art, and gender bending, and a lot of things like this, and this. And it's very successful. A lot of people like it. So this is what she makes on Patreon a month. She probably makes other things in other places. So she's doing well for herself. And in order to get to these numbers, it takes years. And I don't know, it's just not that easy, and you kind of get a bit limited in what you can do. I mean, if she tried to do anything original at this point, I don't know how many people will go, "Ooh, great that you're doing something new. That's exactly what I wanted." No, the people that go to her channel and support her already want something specific. They're not gonna probably want something else, so that's what they expect from her. That is what they pay her. So, it's a double-edged sword, in my opinion, what kind of people you attract and what your goal is as a creator. If it's just financial, then you'll do something that you'll know will sell. So it is a bit difficult, and while I've been tempted to do these conventions, I haven't done one yet because just simply reserving a table there will set you back $60. If you have to travel, sleep overnight, eat, and so on, it can set you back a couple of $100 easily. So going to such an event might actually uh, cost you more money than it will give you, that you will make if you are a beginning uh, artist. And beginning, I mean that you don't have a large following, because it doesn't matter if you have the skill, if you've been doing this for many years and are talented or skilled or trained and stuff like that. That doesn't matter as much as your presence on online media. And you just gotta be patient, I guess. It's very much an endurance type sport. I mean, I do consider artists in a similar situation as athletes. You know, it takes a lot of training, it takes many years of training, and it's not just um, the talent that you have. There are also a lot of other things that go into that. What aspect is that? Because I know she's been around for a long time and appeared in many places and got featured in a lot of magazines and stuff like that. So she's been doing this for a lot longer than I have. Yeah, I know. I showed the illustrations with the gender bending and stuff like that, which are really popular. I'm geared more PG, safe for work kind of stuff. So I do educational comics and books and stuff like that, which I know are really hard sell, but that is what I want to do. I want to do educational stuff, make learning fun. So, my yeah, I know. My kind of like heroes are, the guys from SciShow, if you know SciShow. So I try and do things like they do. They make learning fun, that help people. That is my area of interest. I don't think they're doing as well as Sakimi-chan on Patreon. Let me just check. SciShow. I hope they are. 23,000, so not as good, but It actually is a lot less because there are a lot of people working on side shows. Sakimi-chan, as far as I know, is just her and her work. While here they have like this whole team of people and they have equipment and studio and a lot of other costs. I'm not following? Okay, follow. I thought I was following them there as well, but I was not. Uh, uh water please. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I think it's really awesome what he does, and I really do think that crowdfunding is kind of like the way to go in the future in terms of success for these as well. But at the moment, going through the traditional channels is still the main way to go about this. And you're not really gonna get much success unless you partner up with a major distributor of these things. And I think it's really awesome what Crunchyroll is doing for animators. Do you know Crunchyroll? Yeah, and I think it's really awesome what they're doing, and they get ad revenue from posting there, and also if you don't want to have ads or you want to support a certain animation, you can go there or on Kickstarter or so on and um, pay there, which I think is really awesome. Because you might have liked a certain animation, but you saw it later, and then that studio is making another animation, and you can have access to the list of people that are working on that. So, if you know that those people have given you good content in the past, that's pretty uh, good way of knowing if they'll continue to give good content. So you can support future projects. I kind of took time out from watching animes because there was just so much crap that I kind of lost patience for it. I was like, there's nothing worth watching, and it was just like the sea of cheap, crappy animations. Thank you. Some water for me. And I just got flooded, and I didn't know where the good ones are. So I kind of took a bit of time off from it. But there are good animes out there, and it's just an effort to find them. But with Crunchyroll, and there are just so many YouTube reviewers, and they sift through these, so they do a lot of this legwork for me. So thought it was really awesome, and I subscribed on YouTube to some of these reviewers. And I know what they recommend, and I trust their opinions on this. So I go and listen to their YouTube channel, and when they recommend a certain anime, I go and watch it, and they also give kind of like this critique of it. So, this is good, this is not good, have these expectations when going to watch it. So I'm looking for objective reviewers that are not gonna say, "Oh, this is a super anime, you must go watch it now, go, go, go," and then you go and you see it's crap. You're not gonna trust that person a second time. So I do look for good reviewers, and this is how I choose my video games as well. Because, for example, I yeah, I also watch animes, and because they're better than their own trailers. I don't know why Japanese are really bad at making trailers for Westerners. Like the trailers that they do maybe work in Japan for that audience, but when I look at a Japanese trailer, my reaction is always, "What the hell is this?" And it's really off-putting. Even though the show might be interesting, the trailer just usually cuts it for me. So that's why I prefer to watch animes, because they're made by usually Westerners, the ones that are in English and that I have access to. And that's how I got into a lot of animes before anime review became a thing on YouTube that I could rely on. Well, a lot of them are crap, so I can totally understand you. You gotta know where to look for the good ones, I guess. And in today, with the internet, you have access to a lot of information, and what you gotta be able to do is sift through that information. So it's like it's not enough to be literate and be able to read the headlines and titles of those things. You have to also be able to know how to look and research these things. So yeah, I was talking about conventions and going to them to promote yourself as an artist. And the reason I haven't done this yet is because it's just the costs outweigh the benefits of attending such an event. Yeah, dubbing. I'm against dubbing in general. I don't know why people can't or don't want to read and listen to the show in its original language. I really don't find reading that much of an effort for me. I can read easily. I can understand a 5-year old not being able to keep up with the dialogue and read all of the texts. Um, you know, I wasn't very good at reading until I was maybe 9, so I would have trouble keeping up in reading something dubbed, I think, subbed. So that was just me, but I took what was available for me. I listened to Simpsons in German. I listened to The Little Mermaid in German, even though I'm not from a German country, is just what I had access to. And it was kind of weird, I guess. It didn't have any subs, the videos. Yeah, I don't know if it sounds lively or not. It's just, I guess, a question of taste. I find speaking Japanese much easier for me than Chinese or any of the Scandinavian languages. They're just in Chinese and some Scandinavian languages, there are sounds that are difficult for me to pronounce. Yeah, I guess if you have that industry developed, it's a lot more easier. No, speaking proficiently, I would say my I think it's called native language, but it's kind of maternal language, I'll say. So the one that I did at school, and English. I would say that I'm best at those, but I also studied French and Japanese at school, so I can have dialogues in those languages. And also I have grandparents that are Turkish and Tatar, but I haven't spoken those languages in a long time, so I wouldn't say that I speak those languages because I would have real difficulty um, having a meaningful conversation in those languages. um, I forgot my train of thought. Oh yeah, regarding the dubbing, yeah, so I do prefer having and watching something subbed. Even for video games, when I play a video game, I turn on the subtitles that are usually for people who have hearing problems. Thanks. Yeah, I kind of doubt I'll be good at that because I can't keep secrets. I am very bad at keeping secrets. Tell me something and then ask me to keep it a secret. Chances are I'm gonna blow it just because you told me to keep it a secret. Like, constantly under pressure, like, I gotta keep this a secret. I should avoid that subject and speaking that and that, and because it's a secret and I don't have to tell anyone. Yeah, so no, I don't think I could do that. There we go. Finish that detail there. I'm gonna start doing the lighting finally. Yeah, but you have to spoil them at the right moment with the people that are less likely to whack you, so I don't know. Lighting. Okay, okay. Audio light. Do, 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 do. I am still new at this program, there's just so many buttons. Yeah, I'd rather not have that stress, so. Okay, that's circle. I just want a non-repeat line. There we go. Yes, I did it. Perfect. I guess I don't have that type of selection thing I wanted. There we go. Now should I turn it like that even more? I think that's what I'm gonna do. and save. New folder, light rays, and I'm gonna set it to pass through. There we go. So setting that will enable the blending layers that I've set up for each layer to remain activated. And I got some more shading to do here. Switch cherries. So in this case the light is coming from above. So I'm gonna do the shading upward. There we go. And now I'm blending the shadows, but then I'm gonna do some more harsh shadows because in the summer and midday the light is so strong. I'm gonna drink some more water. The light is so strong that the shadows are really harsh, and the contrast between the lighted area and the shaded area is very high. Go. And so if you are interested in going to a Comic-Con and you are a rather unknown artist, my recommendation would be to build up an audience before you go and do that, because otherwise you might find out that your investment was a loss in terms of financial. Hi Kairani, how are you? How have you been? Are you ready to see the new feature in Manga Studio? No worries. Oh, cool. Family reunion. So, without further ado, so I just found all these little panels here. They do a lot of stuff. And unfortunately, all their tutorials are in Japanese. So, yeah, my Japanese isn't that good. So, it is gonna be very difficult until I learn how to do this. Okay, so this you can move however you want and then use it to draw. So I got like this 3D model, and I can make it do mostly whatever I want. Yeah, it is really interesting and was really helpful. You know, you can use it as a reference, or you can use it as a model and then trace that. I mean, in their tutorials, the illustrator used this model and then traced her, but of course you have to be careful for these little errors that come in, so you gotta know how to draw to begin with. Otherwise, it will not be that helpful for you if you have no idea what you're doing. I got it on a promotion, on discount. Usually it's $70 the software, but I paid $15 for it only. Coincidentally, the discount was on my birthday, so it was a nice little birthday gift I got. And you can also use to, but I don't know how to get into the hand editor. There's just like a lot of buttons here that do things that I don't know, and their tutorials are not most helpful. So there's just a lot of buttons here, and other than pushing them and see what happens, I don't know what to tell you because I'm still new at the program. Once I get to know more about it, maybe I'll do some tutorials in English if they don't do any, because my Japanese isn't that great, so it's gonna be an adventure in and of itself. Come on, raise the pinky. Raise it, you can do it. Move your pinky. Move your pinky toe. It was a Kill Bill reference there. Yeah. So it's really interesting what you can do with it. I don't know how to open all the menus that I saw in their tutorial. And he wasn't even giving that much explanation in Japanese to begin with, so he was like, okay folks, I'm going to show you how to use the 3D doll. Let's get drawing. And I was like what he was saying in Japanese, and then he started doing these, and that was kind of it. So he didn't really go through all the menus. He didn't do much about that. But I like how it already gives you this line art that you can easily trace. And if you're very bad at drawing, this will save you a lot of time. I generally prefer to do a lot of sketching myself and just to learn and to look at people and stuff like that. I do use reference, but to look at it, but you know, tracing doesn't help you if you know what you want to do. If you're just, you know, a beginner artist and want to learn a lot of things and get some results quickly, I guess you could do that. As far as I know, tracing is considered cheating, and some groups will get you banned and kicked out if you post anything that is traced, because it's not considered your work. My recommendation is to learn how to draw properly. Yeah, I think I can. I think I saved it in my Pinterest. So best tutorials and freebies. Let me see. It didn't register it. Why? Oh, I put it in the other one. Okay. So you can find the tutorial in my Pinterest. I saved it there. You can go and click and it will take you to the video. And you can find all the other tutorials there as well if you want to check out what other things I've saved for you. I've subscribed to their channel in hopes that, you know, if they post some more stuff like this, I'll be able to see it in time. My pleasure. So yeah, like I was saying, it's really useful to learn how to draw properly, then to use shortcuts like this, because you're really limiting yourself when doing that. You're not really understanding what's happening, you're just adapting stuff that already is. And it's also good to study art if you want to be an artist, to just see the currents that were in painting, to see how it evolved. Hi, thanks Bards, glad you like it. Welcome to my channel. I don't know if you guys caught some of the conversation before. I was talking about Comic Cons and having a stand at the Comic Con, and how I don't think if you're a beginner artist is worth doing, because you're gonna end up paying for transportation, for renting the spot, and for publishing of the materials more than you're gonna make through the sales there, because people are coming to be entertained, to just look around. They're not necessarily coming with the idea of buying anything. And also they are going to pit your prices against Walmart and other supermarkets, and they think, well, I can get a calendar for $3 at Walmart, why should I pay $20 here at Comic Con? Not taking consideration the fact that printing low numbers is really expensive. Digital printing is very expensive. And the calendars that you find in supermarkets are offset prints, so those are much cheaper automatically, simply because of the printing process. Yeah. Come on. Stretch all the way. There we go. Yeah, and also for other promotional stuff, you know, I don't know, on Facebook or other places, it's a bit tricky when you just open the page. You know, some people will say, oh, you just open a Facebook page, then you gotta buy some ads to get the thing rolling. And if you don't have a lot of things put there already, and you don't already have a following, my recommendation would be to not do these things, not buy Google ads, not buy Facebook ads, because you're not gonna be able to offer much content on a regular basis to keep people happy, satisfied, and coming again. And they do want high quality stuff every day. They expect that, but will not necessarily pay for that. So if you are a beginner artist, my recommendation would be to just be patient and have a full-time job for some other company and do your stuff on the side if you don't have parents to support you financially while doing that. And yeah, for all these social medias, you find which works best for you. I don't like Twitter, it doesn't work for me. I don't enjoy using it. I do very well on two, and I like the format for two. I like the format and the people and Tapastic. So those are communities that work for me. I have a lot of success on Instagram because I am a graphic artist, and Instagram is really graphic oriented, visually oriented. You can't really have any discussions on Instagram. You, you can have discussions like you have on Reddit or Facebook or two, but it's really easy for people to come and like and move on. So I have a lot more likes on my stuff on Instagram than I have on Facebook. For everything I post on Instagram, I will easily get 100 likes, while on Facebook, I may get 5 for the same image. So, those of you who are discouraged because nobody likes your stuff on um, Instagram, and you think, I don't know, oh, I'm a shitty artist, nobody cares about my stuff. It's probably not the case. If your mom thinks it's good, she probably is able to be honest with you and tell you, yes, it's good or not. I don't know, ask your friends. If you have nobody else to ask, like, optional. There we go. Oh, actually, I wanted this to be green as well, and I'm gonna make it green. And it's important to keep training for this, and you're not gonna be a great artist overnight. It takes years of practice and training. And finding people that are willing to help you either with advice or look over your stuff and give you an evaluation of what you are doing good, maybe what you should be changing because you're not doing that great. I think it's very important to find someone that can give you advice. I found that that was kind of like the hardest thing, because maybe if you are not going to an art school, then you're not gonna have someone to give you advice on these things. And no matter how annoying and horrible those teachers might be, and they might give you crappy advice and say that anime is not art, or whatever other thing you're into is not art, or something like that, then just move on and try and find some other mentor that can help you. And if you need help, I'm happy to help you. No, I don't use DA anymore because my account got hacked a long time ago and it's just a cesspool and there's a lot of stolen art, and I find the DA is just kind of like the same thing as Facebook, but just not with the same reach as Facebook. I'm already on Facebook. I see absolutely no reason why I should go on DA again. I had my art stolen on DA, but I really didn't care because I was a beginner and it looked like crap anyway. So I was actually flattered when my art got stolen. Like, hey, I got something that is worth stealing. Wow, I have reached fame. Yeah, oh, and I went to a yard sale the other day because this is what I also wanted to talk with you guys. Yeah, and it was as I expected, a lot of weirdos with frustrations coming to talk to me, and it was very exhausting for me because I'm an introvert. I don't smile. My natural face is, my default face is Grumpy Cat. So I had to keep smiling a whole day, and it was really exhausting for me. You never had Facebook, MySpace, or the other social stuff? No, I think maybe it's just a little bit older and you still use the phone and still visit your friends in real life. And whatever you want to buy, you can find it in other channels. You don't need to go to Facebook or that anyway. You can go and buy it on Amazon or Hulu or whatever you want to buy. Yeah, and so I went to this sale and it was really close to me, so I didn't have to spend any extra money on gas, food, accommodations, or other stuff like that. I just took my stuff and went there. And a lot of people, like one old lady told me, "Oh, my daughter used to be an artist, then she got a real job." And I knew exactly what this kind of person was because I've met this kind of person before. And I asked her, "Oh, really? That's so awesome for her. And what does she work as now?" And she told me, "Oh, she works at a university." And I was like, "Oh, really?" And I thought maybe she's an art teacher or something. And I asked her, "Oh, what does she work as?" "Oh, she works in the canteen. She washes the dishes." And I was thinking, like, how is that better and how is that a real job and being a graphic artist not? Now, I've worked as a graphic artist for a few years now, and in the contract and the government registry where I pay my taxes, yeah, I'm really sorry for that girl and her very unpleasant mother because I doubt it's very fun to have a mother like that. And there I was registered as a graphics worker and I did advertising material. And I actually earned more than friends of mine who were doctors at the public hospital. So, very honorable job doing something that a lot of people really need to survive. Like, they weren't plastic surgeons or fancy stuff like that. They had real, useful, honorable jobs. And I was earning more than them. No, but being a graphic artist is a real job and it pays well. As long as you are trained and you are a skilled worker, after all. You know, you go to school for a few years, you learn some stuff. You don't become a doctor or a lawyer or a graphic artist overnight. You know, like takes a long time to train. So, you know, I'm really sorry that she didn't support her daughter to go to a school where she can learn this craft properly and come out knowing how to do some stuff so that she can get a job in the industry, a proper one, and not just do, I don't know, logos on Facebook for, well, whoever agrees to pay her whatever sum. It's hard working as a freelancer if you are young and don't know how to negotiate contracts because it's not something you learn at school. So, if you don't know how to negotiate contracts, if you don't know how to administrate your financial situation and pay the taxes and all that stuff, my recommendation would be to go and work for a company that handles all this stuff for you, and then you can learn later on to do it by yourself if you want to become independent. Yeah, you know, my parents worked for other people for a long time and then they opened their own companies. So when I was studying at university, they were like pushing me, start your own business as early and as quickly as you can because you need to get ahead and you need to do all this stuff. And I was like, but I don't know how to do all these things. Um, I don't have the information. I will work for somebody else. I will learn how to do these things and then I will open my own business when I have the capital, the know how, and all that. Because, yeah, okay, taking risks is one of the key to successes, obviously, but you take calculated risks. Otherwise, you're just gonna lose money, go bankrupt, and that's it. End of dream. And it is really difficult to get backing from people, but with crowdfunding, I think it's really awesome because you have like all the little people pulling together to get something that they feel strongly about off the ground. Sell myself? What do you mean? Which letter is it? There we go. Taki is back in The streaming is gonna stream again. Ah, solar roadways. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were very good at promoting that event with that idea with the solar roadways. And a lot of people are very good at promoting a lot of things on Kickstarter and so on. And I think it's really sad for all the people that are, genuinely created something valuable, useful, and they just lack the showmanship abilities that are needed for crowdfunding. And I think it's really awesome that they started, like this other more technical crowdfunding, because I think Kickstarter is better at crowdfunding for video games or other things that don't require you to have any solid knowledge of physics or chemistry. And I think it's Anna. Uh, I forgot the name of that other crowdfunding uh, site that was like kind of like Kickstarter for engineering stuff. It's a bit more complicated for serious technological projects because there are a lot more rigorous testing that they have to go through in terms of viability, of safety, and they're usually overlooked by whatever governing body overlooks the area where they are citizens or registered people with their patents and stuff like that. I think it's really good for art, Kickstarter and Patreon and stuff like that. When it comes to technical stuff, like I said, it's a bit more complicated because there are other things you need to take into consideration. And there are a lot of projects that sound good, but actually they're not really viable, like a whole bunch of futuristic engines that they try to crowd fund for them, or a lot of little cars that maybe aren't very practical, but they look nice. I think that's how a whole bunch of hoverboards got funded. The ones that blow up and catch fire. So, yeah, that's a bit more difficult for technical stuff. use the other brush. Here we go, blending mode, screen. So when you select the screen mode, anything that is dark will become oh, I wrote over that. Confuse the layers. It's really annoying when that happens and you draw on the wrong layer. There we go. I'll change it to multiply. What is my first memory of wanting to become an artist? It is, and sorry, back had the ninja-esque moment. Okay, so my first memory of wanting to become an artist. Um, kind of hard to determine because I've always loved drawing, but seriously considering art as a profession was at the end of high school when I had to choose a college that I would go to and then choose the career path for the rest of my life. So I would say that first memory of wanting to do that in that sense was at the end of high school, where I had to choose a career path. And it wasn't the first option, it was the third option. And because I really liked marine biology and I would have liked to become a marine biologist. But a teacher of mine said, you are going to starve to death on the Black Sea platform, and your life will not amount to anything, and you'll be very disappointed and bitter. And the motivation to be an artist, you mean? Well, I've always enjoyed drawing, and I thought to myself, because the second thing I wanted to become was an astrophysicist, and I just sucked at math, and as a high schooler that didn't know much, I thought that the physics I did in high school, which I was really good at, will be the same kind of physics I would do later on in life. And my dad, who was an engineer, he said, physics is doing a lot of math and you suck at math, and let me give you some examples of things you'll have to do as a physicist. And I was like, nope, this is not the career for me. I will not be able to do this. Yeah, so in the end I decided, if I'm going to starve to death, I might as well starve to death doing something that I like, and I always enjoyed drawing and I always enjoyed animation. And I wanted to be an animator, but there wasn't any university for it, so I went to film school and studied a bit of animation there. I'm mostly self-taught in this. I took some painting classes when I was younger, but most of what I know how to do today, I've learned it from tutorials online. And because my parents were concerned with my financial safety, they insisted on me studying marketing. And that is how I worked in advertising. After I finished marketing school, and I also was a pretty good graphic artist, and I could do a lot more than, my other colleagues that had finished marketing. So I had no trouble in finding a job, and I did well for myself. Though the pay was pretty low all over the country, it wasn't just me having a shitty salary. In every country where corruption is high, if you want a good cushy job, you work at the government and take bribes. And that's like the way you can secure financial safety in corrupt countries with corrupt governments. Sorry, I mean countries with corrupt governments. Marine life. Okay, so when did I pick up the pencil and say this is it? Um, well, when I had to apply, I guess, for which university I wanted to go study, and I didn't pick up the pencil. I picked up a whole bunch of documents with my ID, birth certificate, and all that, and went and applied for that. Took summer classes to make sure I'm prepared for everything. Um, and while my parents weren't very enthusiastic about my choices, they didn't outright say no, you're not gonna do this. They said, okay, you can do this, but you also have to do the other thing, like do the marketing. So you can be an artist if you want, but do the marketing as well, because if you see it doesn't work and you're crappy at it, and because we don't want to see you starve to death, go do economics as well. And the things that they taught us there were just like really depressing for me. Because you're basically saying people don't know what they want, people don't bother to learn what they want. Um, they make split decisions that are irrational. Um, don't give them too much credit. Don't expect much from consumers. You have to educate them. Well, I didn't start necessarily as an artist. How do you define art, really? I worked in advertising. I also did art stuff on the side. Where do you draw the line and say this is art, this is not art? I took at the film school advertising courses, or kind of like a blend, because I tried to learn at each university the thing from the other university, and it was really funny because you get the hear the stories on both sides, because you had the marketing teachers commenting about the filmmakers that filmed the commercials, and they were like, oh, those artsy people, they don't understand advertising, they want to do art on our money, and um they'd be really condescending toward the people that, the actors that would play in their commercials and stuff like that. And then the actors, the filmmakers, and all that at the film school would complain like, "Oh, those business people are soulless. They only care about the money. They don't want to add any value to this world. They only want to con people and try to trick them." And they were like, I was on kind of like playing both sides of the uh, advertising world, and it was interesting to see how they were flinging poo at each other like that. And of course, obviously, I was too artsy for those at the economics university, and I was too, um, yeah, for the guys at the art school, so I didn't fit anywhere. One of my art teachers called me a paradox, and I asked her, why am I a paradox? And she was like, you need an explanation? I'm like, yeah, I need an explanation because it doesn't make sense what you're saying, and I want to understand what you're saying. I never got a straight answer out of her. So that was an interesting life experience. But it probably did give me an edge compared to other people on my CV. I would show them, I studied this and that because I wanted to learn and I knew how to do more things than other people. So that's maybe why I never really had any problem finding a job. The only problems were finding a decent paying job. So, told the parents that say, oh, get a real job. Well, that's not the issue. The issue is getting paid. And if there are economical problems in the country you're in, it doesn't matter if you're an accountant or an artist or whatever you may be, um, you are going to encounter difficulties making a living if there is economical and social turmoil in your country. So I think it would be more important to uh, vote for less corrupt people that are more interested in maintaining the financial well-being of your country than necessarily getting a real job. And just finding the ways of learning craft so you can practice it and learn that well and do it well. I've met a lot of people that say, "Oh wow, you're so talented. I'm shit. I'm not good at this. I'm so envious that you're good at this and I'm not and I don't know what to do. I would like to be an artist." And yeah, you can be. You just have to study and train and do a lot of things to get good at what you are. I mean, even if you study to be a lawyer or a doctor, it takes a lot of years and a lot of work. And it's the same thing if you want to be an athlete or a painter or a violin musician. You can be paid well or poorly, and a lot of these. And it also depends on the demand and supply in the market. In my country, we have a lot of managers, so every ambitious parent has sent their kid to managing school to be a manager, send them to business school to be like a manager and get a lot of money, because that's how you make a lot of money and are successful. If you go to business school and become a manager and just plop out of the business school directly as a manager. And you're bound to make a lot of money. You're probably gonna make a lot of money if your mommy and daddy already has a business and they'll let you be manager there. Otherwise, working your way up from the bottom is gonna be an uphill battle, and if you don't know how to do your job properly, you're not gonna be uh, successful just because you have a business degree. And there are just so many people that have a business degree, so it's not really worth much nowadays, anyway. So it's gonna be a rough ride. And yes, you look at what is the supply and demand, and at the moment, a lot of people need programmers. So, and in general, they're looking for people that can help produce services or products and stuff like that. So, people are gonna look for dentists, people are gonna look for programmers, people are gonna look for graphic artists. And the amount of work that goes into programming and amount of work that goes into making an interface and the characters for a video game, usually you're gonna need a 2-to-1 ratio, or because I know in a small company that I work for, they had like 40 programmers and 10 graphic artists that did all the work for the graphics. So it was like 1-to-4 ratio, and the artists were able to take the workload for all the games that were needed and apps, and the programmers worked on that. Now, also want to take into the consideration that all the graphic artists that they hired were veterans, so they weren't beginners. None of the graphic artists were beginners, while the programmers, they would just take whatever came their way, so they were a lot slower. So a demand for programmers is higher than a demand for graphic artists. And if you want to still stay in this and be part of the gaming industry because you like games but your parents don't want to let you become an artist, you can try and become a programmer and still stay in the loop that way. And I had parents come up to me and say, I know you're a happy end story, it's a mildly success story, that you didn't starve to death as a graphic artist, but still, can you talk some sense into my kid, tell him to be a programmer or a lawyer or a doctor? And yeah, if you're afraid of being an artist because you're afraid that you're not gonna be talented, you're not gonna do a good job, or you could try and be a programmer, but if you're not good at it and you don't like it, um, you're not gonna get maybe the success you were hoping for. The company I worked for Give Video Games, I earned more than a lot of their programmers because they had a lot of beginners that didn't know how to do their job properly, or they were just not good at it. And it worked for them as a company to hire two um, crappy young programmers, or just two crappy programmers, Well, yeah, Van Gogh is more of a celebrity like Lady Gaga. Like, you can't necessarily evaluate him technically properly. It's more of a taste than what I was saying. Because, a video game is either gonna work or it's not gonna work. It's gonna crash. So, the success is kind of binary. While for artists, you can have a lot of gray in between, You can argue that, oh, this style is better than another style, Like now, for example, pixel art is really popular. So I don't necessarily find it very appealing, but a lot of people find it appealing. So pixel art done right, even when it's correct and the colors are okay and just a good composition, it's still not appealing to me, but I can evaluate it from some technical aspects. While other people, they just don't care and they see pretty colors and they like it. So it's very much a question of taste. While for video games, if it doesn't work, you can't install it, it doesn't load, um, then end of the story. The programmer did a crappy job or didn't do his job at all, and that's the end of the story. So it's evaluated differently. So that's why the company that for video game company that I work for, they prefer to invest more in a graphic artist that can do a lot of things and do them properly, and they didn't care about the programming. They would just take a lot of young people and they would pay them peanuts, and that was it. Because eventually they would get the program running. Super 2D, Super Nintendo RPGs. I don't remember now how they look like. I gotta Google it. Chrono Trigger, Dragon Quest, those kind. Yeah, I'm not that familiar with older games. And being a graphic artist, I'm what gamers like to call, I guess, graphics whore or something like that. Those sounds pretty ugly, but The way a game looks is very important to me. I'm not gonna be very attracted to a game that is old because usually it doesn't look that great. So I have looked at older games, for just educational purposes, but I forgot pretty soon anything about that game. Crash Course, the guys from SciShow also did, like a history crash course for video games. That was pretty interesting, to learn about Atari and how Nintendo came to be what it is today. My first console. A controller, or what do you mean by console? Oh, no, I never had one of those. No, how am I supposed to have that? I had my first computer when I was in high school. And that was in 2014. No, actually in 2000, no, 2004. 2005, I think I had my first computer in 2005. I have an Xbox controller. No, yes, controller. I was thinking how it's called in English. I said it right. I am proud of myself. And I had it. Well, we had some at work, but I didn't really use them because I was in the graphics parts. The programmers were the ones that were using these. And even after work, they were like, "We're playing with these, you go do something else." Well, my first video game was Age of Empires, I think, though we played at school Mario because the teacher didn't want to teach us programming. I went to programming and mathematics high school, but the teacher wasn't really teaching us programming because she didn't feel like it, so um, she let us play Mario on the computer. Or that was in the 8th grade, and at high school we did something else, I don't remember. But either way, I never had any proper programming classes in high school or middle school. And I didn't enjoy doing it by myself at home either. I enjoyed drawing more. Yeah, but you can only play it one to so many times. I mean, and because I went to film school and I was really interested in animation, I'm more of a animation connoisseur than a video game connoisseur. I mean, I know a whole bunch of old animations. I have seen so many animations. And my husband is really a real fan of video games, so a lot of video games that I've discovered and learned about was through him, because he kept recommending video games for me. And yeah, he's older than me. Of course he does. Yeah, of course you are. And age has nothing to do with it. Also, you've had a computer in your life for how many years now? Yeah. So, um, yeah, I had computers in my life for less than half my life. So, most of my life I've lived it without computers. Well, good for you. Your parents were more modern and tech savvy than mine. So yeah, definitely the people that you have in your life that help you and teach you is very important. There are things you might not never find about because the people around you don't care for them. And it's only when you meet someone that is knowledgeable about something that you're not, and that person is able to teach you better about that stuff, that you realize the beauty in that thing. And all the math teachers that I had in my years in school were not the most gifted teachers. I think you do need a bit of talent to be able to explain this to people so that they understand it. It's not enough to just say, uh, 2 plus 2 equals whatever. Because that may be easy to explain and anybody can explain and understand that. But when you get to the more difficult things in mathematics, it stops being fun if you don't have a good teacher. There are a lot of memes with, I stopped liking math when they started putting the alphabet in it or something like that. And fortunately, I had good physics and statistics teachers, that took what we learned at math class and, explained why this and is that and why this is like that. And you could start to see and understand some things and find a beauty in that. And I really enjoyed the physics classes, the statistic classes, and I think it's something important to know and understand physics and statistics so that when somebody comes at you and says, "Oh, I have this revolutionary thing." Yeah, I want to hear a joke. And buy my stuff because it's really awesome. If you have some knowledge about these things, you'll know not to get tricked. Tell me the joke, I'm listening. Well, I'm waiting. I don't know if you're typing. I wish I knew if you're typing or you just lost connection and are not here anymore. I wish it gave me like a little typing notification, like on Skype. Yeah, I think he asked about the joke and then ran off. Found a pretty girl. He got distracted. Do you remember the animation Up from Pixar? With the dog that kept seeing a squirrel and then like talking about something, and then he was like, squirrel. I think that's what happened to Banana. He saw a squirrel. Yeah, I think it was dog. It was funny dog. He was actually the inspiration for my Marie Corgi. I had my comic, the time traveling adventures of Niels Feynman. And Niels was a kid, was time traveling, and he had a dog that had a color that could speak, and a cat named Erwin. Only Marie had a different personality than Doug. She was like motherly. Okay, Banana returned. Let's see the joke. Two friends are talking. Did you hear that John finished the school? No, yeah. He removed the scaffolding yesterday and put it on the economic one. Uh, it's funny because it's true. Oh, come on, Andre. Finished the medical school. Ah, but it's in my language as well. It's a more of a universal joke, I guess. I think the really difficult jokes to translate are the ones about, different minorities within a country or dialects from region to region because it's a play on words and on accents. I think those are really hard to translate. Yeah. And yeah, there's just a lot of sayings that are in a country and sound really funny in that language, but when you try to translate them, they don't really make much sense. Okay, take care. Glad to have you on my channel. Yeah, I really like that, and I would love to do that. And I was thinking of asking June if she would be up for that. But I'll have to ask a lot more people. And I don't know. Hopefully, yeah, it's kind of a big problem organizing so many people to do that. But I think I will do that, like a major event once a year or something. I don't know. I don't know if I can get them all together sooner than that. But also, my following is growing, so I'm getting to know more and more people, and also the channels are growing. So I'll have more people that I can ask to see if they would like to do this. I think it would be really fun to do that. And I also have to get to learn how Google Hangouts work. And if you'd like to be my moderator, that would be super awesome. I'd be really happy to have your help with that, Kairani. Because it will be, I think, a bit too much of a workload for me. And I don't know if I'll be able to do it properly, so I will need some help. I know that Lol Batty and the other guys, they did the Draw Me collab live, but they only did it like once or twice and then it flopped because they weren't able to get all the people together. And it was always something spontaneous. So I'm hoping that, if I do something a bit more organized and announced in time. Yeah, when you return from your guys' hiatus, we can talk that and maybe do it in September or October. We will see how you guys, if you have time to do this. I'm up for it anytime. It just depends on what and where people are, because now it's summer, so a lot of people are off to see their relatives or just on vacation. So probably may have to wait to for people to come back to their daily routine and then get a hold of them then. Yeah, I don't know, because I just have to wait for people to return and see what they have. Hopefully, my following will grow up more, so I will have a better reach. And I'm trying to get in contact with bloggers like yourself that, what they do is comb and try to find people whose content is worth sharing. So I will try and get in touch with more people like you. So I would have a bigger megaphone to announce this, because I know a lot of people like this, and I'm sure they will be up for it. I have no doubt about it. It's just that, getting organized, getting these things together, and it's a bit more complicated. Gotta redeem myself. Redeem yourself? For what? Thank you, good night. Okay. Please help, a cat broke into the house. Okay. Are you joking? This is not a reason to be calling the police, is it? Who's talking? The parrot. Oh, that was funny, yeah. I don't know if you saw the video on YouTube about stupid reasons why people call the police. And, and one kid was really cute because he did a number 2 on the potty and he got scared and he called the police. Because I guess it's really easy to call the emergency number. Oh, this illustration is slowly coming to its conclusion. It was just a lot of work, tedious work, a lot of details, but it's a high resolution. It's gonna look good on a big print because it has a lot of details. So when it's small, a thumbnail like this, it doesn't look that great, but when you see it up close, bigger, it'll be easier to appreciate all the work that went into it and all the detailing. And also be working on the colors as well. They have like a lot of highlights on it. I don't know. Why did he like to play chess? Cause he can eat the hunter. I think one of the pieces is called hunter. The piece that goes diagonally, uh, in my language, it's called the madman. Bishop is in English. Andrei. Yeah. So now I can get a sense of another level of detail that's gonna go into this. And I'm hoping that next stream I will be able to finish this. I'm hoping. There's just a lot of details. It's okay. So you can see how that leaf is starting to look. And I'll just be blending more and more of it. There's just a lot of layers of detail going into it, more and more. So this was it for today, and I will continue this in 2 days on Thursday. Thank you very much for watching. I stream every Tuesday and Thursday, same time, 3 to 5 p.m. Michigan, USA time. That is GMT minus 5 hours. So, see you in 2 days. Thanks for coming, thanks for watching. Hope to see you then again. Bye bye.